back to the Meaningful Mortality Podcast, your weekly guide to protecting your loved one's peace of mind by learning how to navigate the complexities of death preparation. I'm your host and mortality consultant, Dominic Roma. Last week, we laid our foundation discussing why it is so crucial to have a plan. We talked about the importance of addressing practical categories that are important in a mortality plan. But a plan is just a plan, unless you develop the right mindset behind it. So today, we're going to challenge something I like to call your mortality mindset. We're going a step deeper to explore how we can shift our mindset from one of fear and avoidance to one of acceptance and inspiration. This is the internal work that makes the external planning not only easier, but truly meaningful. It is my mission to help you create a mortality plan to protect your loved ones and embrace the reality of your finite experience so that you can live more fully right now. Let's continue our planning journey. Death is typically an uncomfortable thought for most of us. It's the ultimate unknown, and our entire culture is built around avoiding it. We use euphemisms like passed away, lost, or no longer with us. This constant culture messaging creates a deep-seated death anxiety for many of us. But here's the truth. Avoiding the thought of death does not make it go away, and it allows a quiet, persistent fear to drain our energy and adds unnecessary layers of stress to our lives and the lives of loved ones that we leave behind. But what if we looked at it differently? Imagine you have a final exam that you know is coming at the end of the semester. You have two choices. You can spend the entire semester in a state of low-grade dread, trying not to think about it, which only makes the anxiety worse and most likely will end in failure. Or you can acknowledge that it's coming, study the material, prepare your notes, and walk into the exam with confidence, knowing you've done everything you possibly can to pass it successfully. Confronting the reality of our mortality is like studying for that exam. It's about taking power back from the fear of the experience. When we consciously acknowledge that our time is limited, we begin to dismantle the fear piece by piece. We move past denial and into a state of acceptance. And acceptance is where true peace of mind begins. When we stop running from the inevitable, we can turn around and face it with courage, clarity, and the profound motivation to make the most of the time we do have. Your legacy is being shaped daily by how you live, not just by what you leave behind in a will. And embracing mortality is without a doubt one of the most powerful tools for living a life filled with intention and purpose. Think about anything we value in this world. Diamonds, a beautiful sunset, a rare piece of art. We value them precisely because they're scarce. And your time is the most precious and finite commodity that you'll ever have. When we truly internalize that, our priorities naturally begin to shift. The daily annoyances, the petty arguments, the need to keep up with the rest of the world, they all start to fade into the background. What comes into sharp focus is what truly matters. Our relationships, our values, our health, and our passions. Let's do a quick thought experiment. If your doctor told you today that you had exactly 1 year left to live, and you would be healthy for all of it, what would you change? Would you finally write that book, learn to play an instrument, heal that rift between you and your sibling? Would you quit the job that you hate and travel the world, or maybe build and attack a bucket list? Suddenly, all the excuses we give ourselves, I'm too busy, I'll do it someday, what will people think? They lose their power. The reality of a deadline makes us prioritize our own happiness and meaning. Embracing mortality isn't just about planning to die. It's about having the ultimate motivation to live. It's your permission slip to stop living on autopilot and start building a legacy of love and meaning, moment by moment, starting today. Okay, so embracing mortality sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? It can feel like a huge mental hurdle, but it's about a journey of small, practical steps. These aren't just tasks to check off. They're practices to help you integrate this new perspective into your daily life. These ideas will help you adjust your mortality mindset and perspective. Last week, we discussed legal documents like a living will, but those documents are the end result of a process that begins much deeper. The real work is having a conversation, first with yourself and then with your chosen healthcare agent and loved ones, about what quality of life truly means to you. Ask yourself these questions. What makes a day a good day for me? Is it being able to read a book, taste my favorite food, to have a conversation with my family, maybe even just walk outside without pain? At what point would a medical intervention feel more like a burden than a benefit? Your first step here isn't to download a workbook and start filling it out. It's simply to reflect on these questions and then have a practical conversation with your decision maker, maybe over a cup of coffee. It's so easy to see a will or a trust as a dry, boring legal document. Try reframing it. See it as your chance to write the final chapter of your life story. It's your last chance to communicate your values, hopes, and desires. For example, leaving your cherished book collection to a niece who loves to read tells a story of a shared passion. Leaving a donation to a local animal shelter tells a story of your lifelong compassion for animals. Deciding to split your assets evenly among your children tells a story of fairness and equality of love. When you frame it this way, this planning becomes a deeply meaningful act of legacy building, not a dreaded chore to be avoided. Anxiety lives in the future. Gratitude lives in the present. If we constantly worry about a future that includes our death, we're robbing ourselves of the joy of the present moments that we do have. This is where mindfulness comes in, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes to savor your morning coffee, noticing its warmth, its smell, its taste, without scrolling on your phone or thinking about the tasks that await you. It can be truly listening in a conversation instead of just waiting for your turn to talk. A simple exercise is the 5-to-1 method. Wherever you are, name 5 things that you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and maybe 1 thing you can taste. This pulls you immediately into the present moment. It isn't just self-help fluff, it's mortality practice. Each present moment you fully experience is a tiny victory against the fear of a future without your loved ones. The first 3 steps naturally lead you to the 4th of developing an ethical will. This is not a legal document per se, it's a personal declaration, and it's profoundly powerful. It's a letter, a video, or an audio recording where you pass on your intangible assets. Things like values, life lessons, wisdom, love, and hopes for the future. You can answer questions like, what am I most proud of? What was my greatest challenge and what did I learn from it? What's my wish for my children's happiness? Is there anything I need to apologize for or forgive? This is the most direct way to embrace your mortality, by consciously articulating the essence of who you are while you're alive. You can start it today on your computer or in a notebook and add to it over the years. It is one of the greatest gifts that you can leave for your loved ones in the end. All right, let's quickly review what we've discussed. We explored how reframing our view of mortality can take us from a place of fear to a place of freedom and peace of mind. We talked about using the awareness of our finite time as the ultimate motivator to live with greater intention and passion now. And we covered 4 practical mindset shifts to help you truly embrace mortality. Having conversations about your values, viewing legal planning as more of a storytelling, practicing mindfulness, and creating a powerful ethical will to pass on the ideas and lessons that you care about. Next week, we will get more practical and begin our mortality preparation series with the first episode focused on developing a mortality plan. You don't want to miss it. Don't forget, registration is open for my upcoming workshop, where you'll have an opportunity to build your own mortality plan step by step from scratch. There are only 30 virtual seats available to keep it meaningful and manageable, so grab a seat as soon as you can. To register, just click the workbook link in the description below, and you'll automatically receive confirmation and information once you sign up. Today's episode challenge is to identify some of your core values relating to mortality. Take a few moments today. Write down at least 5 values that are most important to you when you think about things you will miss when you leave. Things like family, honesty, kindness, adventure, creativity, security. Then for each one, write a small sentence, just a short sentence, about why it's so important to you. This is the first crucial step to creating your own ethical will. If you feel comfortable, you can post a comment below about your core values. I'd love to see what's important to you. I want to leave you with this. Mortality is not life's enemy. It's life's partner. It's the deep, dark sky in which the stars of our meaningful moments are able to shine. Death is the ending that makes our experience meaningful. By embracing it, we don't just rush our ending. We enrich every single moment that we're lucky enough to have. If you find this information helpful, please share it with a friend or family member who might benefit. And if you have any questions, please reach out, leave us a comment. Contact links are in the description below. You can always visit meaningfulmortality.com for additional resources. Thank you for joining, and until next time, remember, protect your loved ones with a plan and make your moments more meaningful. I'll see you soon.